Greetings, everyone. So, tonight I wanted to talk about internet stars. And I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. And really, what I want to focus on is the level of self absorption that is going on throughout our society. And I mean, it's always been around. It always has been around. We always had that one family member that had to have the center of attention all the time. Or, I mean, it can even happen with children, like young ones who throw fits about everything and they're not happy unless everyone's catering to them and watching them. And I mean, a lot of kids do that, but I think that the internet has just magnified this kind of behavior. I mean, really, the only reason I do some social media is there's like one or two people I like to be connected to. And then one of my accounts, it's like a handful of family members or friends that I've been connected to for like 15, 16 years that I know from the internet, but I don't really want to like sever the ties, even though it's just, like an internet connection. But I absolutely would be fine if all of this went down. When I talk about all of this, I mean more of the social media. I mean, technically speaking, YouTube's social media as well, but YouTube's a little different. I would be fine if I was taken off of all of these platforms. But don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the interactions that I have with some people, even though I haven't met people in real life. And you do have to vet people out. I mean, I think in this internet era that we're living in, you can connect to some people that are not the most stellar people, or maybe they have some very serious issues or whatever it is, because social media just makes it so much easier. You know what I mean? And I don't think that it's always a bad thing. Like, you could maybe meet somebody on social media and they're like a super cool person. I personally like to meet people the old-fashioned way. It's my preferred way of meeting friends or acquaintances. But I've noticed this probably the last 3 years. Like, the level of self-absorption is absolutely unreal. It's just unreal. And I mean, I do think some people that are completely self-absorbed are more narcissistic. But narcissism, like all the experts like Dr. Ramani and Michelle Nieves and people that talk about narcissism, they talk about this all the time, is that narcissism is on a spectrum. I don't know if I like that description, but I do understand what they're saying. But I mean, we've all met people or had people in our family or school that are what we would consider, for lack of a different word, you guys, I don't know what other words to use, would be like an attention whore. Yeah, it's kind of a crass word to use, but it's just really draining being around them. And I think in the world of selfies, things have just completely gone off the rails, like completely. Although I'm very pleasantly surprised to see a lot of young people are not even going on social media, which I think is fantastic. I do a little bit of Facebook. I don't have a lot of friends, and the only reason I went back to using this old account I had was because of my breast cancer diagnosis. I had it like standing out there for like a really many years. But I mean, the level of self-absorption of people, it's just such a turnoff. We all know someone like that. Or maybe you're like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I share like selfies on YouTube and various social medias of me like at the hospital. And I mean, there's probably a lot of reasons why I do that. I mean, one reason is I like to share my journey. And then the other reason is it is nice to get support, to be really honest. Even if I don't know people in real life, it just feels kind of nice to read positive comments. You know what I mean? But I remember like a year or two ago, before I got my diagnosis, I was really studying about it. I'm still like really fascinated with it. I was studying about hygge. If you guys have ever heard of it, it's like in the Scandinavian countries, I believe it mostly stems from Denmark. I love Denmark. I was actually married there a long time ago. But it's like this concept of, a lot of people use the word cozy, but because Denmark is dark for many months of the year because of their seasons, the Danish and or Norwegians and all of the countries in this area, they've learned these beautiful, amazing ways to make their homes cozy and beautiful and homey, and I just absolutely adore hygge. So actually my whole entire apartment is hygge. So I'm trying to remember, what was I going? Oh, anyways, so I was watching all these YouTube videos about hygge. And then, I don't know how this happened, but I don't really watch these like mainstream YouTubers. I mean, no shade. Like, I definitely am not going to watch an influencer. But it was basically kind of how things were trending. Like what's popular. And a lot of the young women were doing these videos. And I think they call it vlogging. And they would literally vlog. I mean, I guess that that originated from blogging, but it's like people document different things about their life on video, which I think is extremely unhealthy. Now, not every single person doing this, I don't think they're a narcissist. I think we've created this strange, creepy, unhealthy environment that encourages all of this. So I just remember I was watching this young lady. I came upon her. I don't remember what her name is. I could not remember that one. But I had come upon her YouTube channel because something with decorating. But then she was like one of these, I don't know if this is still going on, probably. But like these young ladies, they do all this, what I would call vlogging. They're basically documenting everything they do, like in the morning, like how they wash their face, how they put their makeup on, and then, how they get the kids up and all. I mean, just like, I couldn't even freaking believe what I was watching. I was like, oh my God. And that's not to say that the young ladies doing all of that I don't think all of them are narcissists. I think a lot of them just have, goals and things that they want to do, and they feel like they can contribute somehow. I'm going to show you how I put my makeup on, or I'm going to show you how I organize my house. And it probably, I think it probably starts out good, but then the next thing you know, they're like documenting their entire life. I just couldn't, I still to this day can't get over that. That freaked me out. So I used to be on Facebook a long time ago, like a really long time ago. And, I have to admit, I was a little bit addicted to it back then. And that's when I used my real name on it and everything. And anyways, I learned a lot of things about that, as far as things that I would do now and I wouldn't do where I'm at now. But I just remember seeing all these posts of people posting every freaking thing they did. And I'm not to say that I didn't fall, victim to that sometimes. It was exciting when it all first came out. It was like, this is kind of cool. And we all know one or two people that post all these things on social media, and social media is different now than it was then, but a lot of people will post really super fake things about their life, and it doesn't reflect like the reality. But what gets me nowadays is the level of self-absorption people are in. And I think sometimes it stems from insecurities. I also think sometimes it's because people are actually very lonely. And I'm sure I've fallen, to do that before. But I mean, put it like this. I've seen people, which I personally don't agree with, post so many private pictures of their children. Now I get it, like sometimes parents are proud and they want to show off. Maybe they just had a boy and they want to show the world that they're a proud daddy or whatever. But when people first of all, you got to think about the safety, number one, right? Because we all know what's going on in the world. But then once you get past that safety issue, to me, I feel like some people that do that are exploiting their children. Like they're putting these pictures of their children up to garner attention for themselves. And I don't necessarily know that every person that does this is a narcissist. I don't know that. Look, I wouldn't know that unless I'm actually interacting with this person and I see how they're treating other people around them, etc. But it's like so weird to me to see the things that go on social media. I mean, I'm really, really focusing on social media. I sort of don't like social media that much anymore. And I think if I wasn't going through breast cancer, well, number one, I wouldn't have gotten back on Facebook. I don't post very much there. Years ago, I used to post a lot of truthful posts, and then we started getting fact checking and all that weird stuff, and then that was when I was like deuces, you know what I mean? But, you know, and I'll post like food that I make. I like to do that. I like to share the recipes that I make. It's one of my like Zen things that I do now to really relax. And I do prefer to eat my own food that I've cooked at home, or like if I was to eat a raw dish or a salad or something. I enjoy eating the food that I make. And most of the time it's really enjoyable for me to prepare these, whatever it is I'm making. Whether it's what I make last time, I made some chocolate peanut butter chia pudding. It was freaking amazing. I'm trying to eat a little better. But anyways, I don't want to get into all that. The point I'm trying to make here is the level of self-absorption. I mean, is it any wonder why our society is so screwed up right now? And it's not just the young people. We're always like putting everything on the young people. It's people of all ages. Like, for example, I like fitness. So there's some things that I like to watch on social media that are fitness related. But at times I get extremely turned off because you'll have like one fitness person or maybe a married fitness couple or whatever it is, and they just keep posting and posting and posting. And I sometimes I wonder to myself, I'm like, is this for you to get attention onto yourself? Or are you actually authentic and want to help other people get fit? Like, it's kind of, I mean, do you have to post everything you do? I mean, that's where I get freaking creeped out. I'll bet a lot of you guys feel like this too. And it's not just fitness. I'm just using that as one example. And I'm not to say I haven't fallen victim to some of this stuff either. Like, for a while, I was just really opposed to food, to food stills. Remember when that all first started? It just seems weird to me now. But again, like if you were to go on to, like, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, whatever you're on, there are some people that are what I would call like a top chef. Yeah, I would just say like a top chef, or maybe it's a cooking school or something, and they do this like beautiful food art. That's kind of cool. But I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed to say I've done this, where you go to a restaurant, you take a picture of your food. Like, how freaking insane is that? That's insane. It's insane. And I've done it. I mean, like, I could see if you were like excited, like, okay, you're celebrating your birthday, or, you know, once in a blue, we want to share the things we're doing with other people. I've done it. But what gets me is like so many people are taking it to the extreme now. And like I think about, you guys know I love to watch BJ Investigates or That Surprise Witness. And Oh no, another channel I was watching too regarding the whole Diddy, the Diddy stuff going on is Make It Make Sense. I really like him. In fact, I found out about his channel through BJ Investigates. And he goes to the Diddy trial almost every day. And I don't know if he brought it up, but anyways, it doesn't matter like how I got to the information. But now we have some of these young like YouTubers. I'm talking about more of like the ones with a little more views, or they want to be a big influencer. Okay, you guys, a lot of you guys probably going to be familiar with this. So, Gene Deal. Okay, I had to think about his name. So Gene Deal, if anybody's following it, you know a little bit about Gene Deal. Gene Deal was one of Diddy's bodyguards. Anyways, to make a long story short, he's going to the Diddy trial. I don't know if he goes every day, but he goes a lot. I mean, I would imagine he's going every day. He wants to see some justice done. And this young YouTuber goes up to him and is just being like, I imagine a lot of you guys are familiar with this, but he's just being aggressive and rude. And you guys know we're from Gen X, man, right? And not only that, it's like, what happened to young people having some type of respect for elders? I mean, not all elders deserve respect, that's for sure. But like this young kid was like so rude. And Gene you guys just go watch it. It's probably all over the internet now. But Gene can't help but laugh. Gene, what did he say? He said like, cause see, Gene Deal was like going into the courthouse, where you go through the security, like, and all that. He was getting ready to go in. And this fool was just saying all kinds of, he was just saying like really explosive, rude things to him to try to get content. That's the point I'm trying to make. And Gene Deal said something to the effect of like, because, he's from the old school. He said something to the effect of like, don't make me have to come over there. I might have to fuck you up or something like that. And there was this whole big freaking deal, right? And this idiot was doing it in order to just get a lot of views on his channel. So that's the world we're living in. And then the fool, I don't know if this guy had a big channel or not, but he was like so desperate to get all these views and stuff. So he's trying to entice some like guy like Gene Deal. And not to mention like extremely disrespectful to your elders. You know what I mean? Like I'm not from that era. Like back in my day, you were supposed to respect your elders. Now, it's not to say every elder deserved it, but it was just like this, you treat, your aunties and your uncles, you give them some type of respect. So anyways, long story short, the fool went later and he because nobody fights a fair, like nobody knows how to fight like a real fight anymore, because everybody's a big wussy. So this little wussy child went and reported Gene Deal to one of the agencies, the FBI, or I don't know, one of those agencies. Anyways, in the end, everything was unfounded, but he was trying to get it so that Gene Deal couldn't go into the court. I personally don't believe he was like a paid agent. But I mean, it just goes into like this whole thing about internet stars. But it's just like this self-absorption on social media. It's unbelievable. It turns me off so bad. And even though like I enjoy a good meme now and then, don't get me wrong. And I love to see advocacy on social media. We all know we're getting censored. Everybody's getting censored. I mean, I think the phone devices are listening to us even when we're sleeping, to be honest. I know it sounds crazy, but I just feel like everything that we do is watched now. But I feel like some of the people that are posting every single aspect of their life, which is dangerous, by the way. I mean, people's houses get broken into because of that. Sometimes young ladies might get hurt because of that reason. I'm not saying anybody deserves it. I don't mean that at all. But, like, common sense is completely out of the window. And again, it could be a narcissist. I don't think it's always a narcissist doing this stuff. I think a lot of times people feel so empty inside that they have to keep creating like this online life that, I mean, it's not like, how do I say this? You're posting that you got a coffee in the morning. Now you're posting that you just got off of work. Now you're posting that you did your workout. I mean, and I'm not saying I've never done this stuff, but my thing is, like, when it gets to the extreme, something's wrong. And I feel like in the past I was a Facebook addict. I'm being honest with you. This is just a rant, you guys. And one day I remember, this is quite a few years ago, and I remember I woke up in my apartment in the morning and I said to myself, what am I going to post on Facebook? And that's when I realized something's wrong, right? And there were a lot of reasons for that. You know, I felt like, I think when I look back, I wanted to wake everybody up with the truth. And then there was a little part of me that was lonely. And it's just like you try to fill these voids in your life that will never be filled on social media. And I do think that you can meet people on social media, sometimes in a safe way. But I always wonder when I see these people just, and this is very generic, I'm just saying, like, posting. I mean, it could be a lot of reasons. It could be some type of mental health crisis. It could be depression. It could be loneliness. It could be seeking outside validation from other sources than yourself. It could be wanting to be famous because you're unable to fulfill yourself. But I don't know, you guys. I could talk about this for a long time, but this is totally off the topic of Scientology, but I just wanted to share with you guys my thoughts. And I don't think I'm above this stuff. I don't. I feel like I've reined in any type of issues I had with social media in the past. I do feel that all of it's reined in. And if my Facebook or my Instagram was taken down tomorrow, I'd be fine with that. I would still try to keep in touch with one or two people that I have befriended on these social media platforms years ago. But it probably would be healthier to be off of it, really. And it, you know, I don't know how long I'm going to be on this earth. I plan to be around a little longer, but it will be interesting to see what's going to happen in the future. I think there's some positive things to social media, like, and I mean more so like with TikTok. I think TikTok can be a very positive thing if it's used in the right way. But it will be interesting to see how social media morphs in the next 10 to 20 years. I do believe a lot of people will just be off of social media for a lot of reasons. But as we all know, being on the internet all the time, whether you're a famous YouTuber, or whether you're on Facebook or whatever it is, TikTok, it can be very draining. And I think a lot of people will leave social media for a lot of different reasons. So it's going to be interesting to see. Wonder what y'all think about it. Have a nice night. Peace.